ESPN reporting that Stephanie White is the new head coach for the Indiana Fever. She just left the Connecticut Sun. She's a former Fever player, also was an assistant coach for the team in the past. And if you remember, she was also just a standout at Purdue when she played for Purdue a number of years ago. And she was also one of the names people had been talking about as a potential new head coach for the
Stephanie White, the newly appointed head coach of the Indiana Fever, just shook the entire WNBA with a bold, no-nonsense decision involving NaLyssa Smith. And let's be honest, it was overdue by a long shot. This wasn't some quiet roster tweak or behind-the-scenes adjustment. This was a clear statement move that sent shockwaves through the league and made one thing very clear. The Fever are done playing games, and complacency is officially no longer welcome.
We saw nothing from the players that are free agents, like Kelsey Mitchell, Erica Wheeler and stuff. But there is one player that we're like, oh, will she even be on the team next year? Posting positively about Stephanie White being hired, and that is NaLyssa.
Because everyone knows Caitlin Clark entered Indiana like a full-blown firestorm. From day one, she dragged the entire franchise into the national spotlight, revived fan excitement, and gave the Fever something they hadn't had in years: real hope for a playoff push. Clark didn't just elevate her own game. She lifted the entire conversation around the team and turned Indiana into must-watch basketball overnight.
Make no mistake, Caitlin Clark is doing things beyond.
And yet, somehow, despite Clark's game-changing performances and highlight reels stacked high enough to last a lifetime, the Fever still crashed out of playoff contention. Let's be crystal clear about something. That failure had absolutely nothing to do with Caitlin Clark's otherworldly talent. It had everything to do with teammates who looked more committed to playing invisible defense than actually contributing to winning basketball. While Clark was giving everything she had, others were simply going through the motions.
Terrible for a lot of the season. I'm not going to knock NaLyssa Smith as a person, but Dejanay Carrington straight away, free her. Like, she tweets,
players were coasting, dodging accountability, and watching their effort drop faster than a lead balloon. But Stephanie White finally arrived and made it known she wasn't here to babysit mediocrity. She took one hard look at NaLyssa Smith's performances, unbothered, uninspired, and painfully underwhelming, and decided she had seen enough. There was no chance she was going to let Caitlin Clark's effort be wasted by players who couldn't keep pace. Smith has now publicly said her goodbyes because White is an all-business leader who knows exactly what she wants. A team so locked in on winning that anything less than full effort gets you shown the door. If you're not bringing your absolute A-game every single night, you might as well start packing.
NaLyssa Smith has publicly said farewell.
White didn't take this job to babysit egos or constantly put out fires. She walked in with a crystal clear vision, a team built on relentless energy, unwavering purpose, and an obsession with winning. Instability? Inconsistency? Yeah, she won't tolerate that for even a second. And don't think for a moment you can hide behind raw talent alone. Flashy highlights won't save you here. White set the standard so high that even thinking about cutting corners is laughable. To her, success isn't about individual stars or viral moments. It's about total, all-hands-on-deck commitment. You could be a headline-making, stat-stuffing star, but if you don't meet her standards of discipline, focus, and unity, you're gone, no exceptions. Hard work, resilience, and a team-first mindset are non-negotiable pillars of her culture. And if you think she's here to coddle players who half-step their effort, think again.
She wanted women to have as many opportunities as men, and if it wasn't for her and it wasn't for the way she fought for women's athletics, I'm not sure I would have had that opportunity.
Which brings us to NaLyssa Smith. Not too long ago, she was viewed as one of the Indiana Fever's brightest young stars. Fast forward to this past season, though, and her trajectory took a serious nosedive. The numbers tell the story without any sugarcoating. Smith went from being a key contributor to a massive question mark. Her scoring fell off a cliff, her overall impact vanished, and she became a shadow of the player she once promised to be. The coaching staff wasn't blind to this slow-motion train wreck either. One night, she'd flash a hint of her old brilliance, and the very next game, she'd completely disappear. It became a coin flip which version of Smith would show up. And when the Fever needed consistent, game-changing production, they were left hanging. At that point, it stopped being a slump and started looking like a liability.
We saw nothing from the players that are free agents, like Kelsey Mitchell, Erica Wheeler and stuff. But there is one player that we're like, oh, will she even be on the team next year? Posting positively about Stephanie White being hired, and that is NaLyssa Smith.
The real gut punch was watching all that raw potential go to waste. Smith has every physical tool you could ask for. She's athletic, can control the boards, and has shown flashes of being a real presence in the paint. But here's the reality. Potential means absolutely nothing if you can't stay locked in and bring consistent energy every night, and Stephanie White is done playing the waiting game. You don't win games with what-ifs and maybes. You win with execution. For White, gambling on someone who can't be trusted to show up consistently isn't just risky, it's reckless. The message couldn't be clearer. Either you're helping lift the Fever to a higher level, or you're an anchor dragging them down. There is no middle ground. No one more chance speeches. No excuses.
He's in her arsenal. What she is bad at, shooting, takes her 17 seconds to wind up into a jump shot. She is not very good at well, it's not even her fault.
And White isn't quietly hinting at this. She's making it crystal clear. If you're not pulling your weight, you're gone. Full stop. There are no second chances for repeat underperformers. It might sound harsh, but it's exactly the wake-up call this franchise needed. With a young, electric core led by Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston, White wants every single player on the roster fully locked in. No passengers. No dead weight. No exceptions. And NaLyssa Smith, with her roller coaster effort and disappearing act during clutch moments, didn't fit that blueprint. White has zero patience for anyone holding the team back, and she's not afraid to make brutal cuts if it means building a tighter, more cohesive group. The signs started showing when Smith quietly scrubbed her social media of anything Indiana Fever related. A bio line removed here, a team account unfollowed there, small moves on the surface. But in pro sports, those digital breadcrumbs are catnip for fans and gossip hunters.
Big risk. It's a big risk because if you've got Stephanie White as your coach, it means that you are not like...
The Fever faithful noticed immediately, sniffing out the drama like bloodhounds. Speculation exploded overnight. Was Smith trying to leave? Was she done with Indiana? It became the talk of the town, lighting up blogs, timelines, and fan forums everywhere. By the end of that chaotic week in July 2024, Smith's online activity had snowballed into a full-blown mini-crisis. Fans were analyzing every post, retweet, and emoji like clues in a basketball-themed murder mystery. And it didn't stop with a few Instagram tweaks. Her posts grew more pointed, dripping with frustration, and what looked a lot like passive-aggressive shots. It turned into a social media soap opera that clashed head-on with everything Stephanie White was preaching: unity, positivity, and forward momentum. Then came the mic drop moment. In early August 2024, Smith posted about feeling trapped. The post went viral almost instantly, racking up thousands of likes and just as many stunned reactions. It was about as subtle as a flashing billboard saying, "I'm checked out." For a no-nonsense coach like White, that was yet another massive red flag.
Only thing is that teams don't have to overpay for Satu Sabally because she's because of the whole 2026 thing where it's basically a great reset.
And just when it seemed like the situation couldn't get any messier, along came the TikTok video that turned this into a full-blown scandal. In late September, Smith's girlfriend, Dejonai Carrington, posted a clip that had fans' jaws on the floor. The video reenacted the infamous eye poke incident from the Fever's playoff series against the Connecticut Sun, the one where Carrington's long nails injured Caitlin Clark, the franchise's golden child. There they were, laughing and joking, with Carrington playfully denying any wrongdoing and Smith laughing along like it was comedy gold. Fans and analysts weren't laughing. Caitlin Clark is the crown jewel of the Fever, and mocking her injury, even as a joke, felt disrespectful, tasteless, and like a slap in the face to the entire organization. Publicly, the team stayed silent, but behind closed doors, you could feel the storm building.
Dejonai Carrington NaLyssa Smith situation has just made kind of everything messy when it comes to discourse between the...
But the chaos didn't stay confined to social media. Not even close. It spilled straight into the locker room, turning what should have been a safe space built on focus, trust, and camaraderie into a complete nightmare. NaLyssa Smith's relationship with Dejounte Carrington stopped being harmless tabloid chatter and became a real, breathing distraction inside the Indiana Fever organization. By early September, quiet whispers of tension were circulating behind closed doors. By October, those whispers were impossible to ignore. The situation had crossed a line, and everyone in the building felt it.
You've got Dejounte, who is a shitster. There's no other way to say this, and that's where the issue is.
Through a minefield. Teammates found themselves carefully choosing their words, avoiding certain conversations, and tiptoeing around each other just to keep the peace. And no one wanted to be caught on the wrong side of the situation. The energy was awkward, uncomfortable, and honestly toxic. This wasn't just normal team friction. This was the kind of internal mess that derails seasons and destroys chemistry. For a franchise trying to build a winning culture, it was the exact opposite of what success looks like.
Clip is going viral of WNBA couple Dejounte Carrington and NaLyssa Smith. Their romantic relationship started in 2020 at Baylor University when Dejounte was a senior and NaLyssa was in.
And the problems didn't stop there. Smith's growing detachment from the team became impossible to miss. She was frequently seen glued to her phone, both physically and emotionally checked out of team activities. As the season wound down, it felt like her connection to the Fever had completely faded. By the final stretch, teammates weren't just giving side-eye, they were openly questioning her commitment. Rumors started circulating about missed voluntary workouts in late October, a major red flag under Stephanie White's no-excuses leadership style. By November 2024, the tension had spread everywhere, from the stands at Gainbridge Fieldhouse to the Fever's front office. Social media turned into a war zone, flooded with frustrated fans demanding change. The pressure on the organization was intense. This was a team overflowing with talent and potential, yet personal drama was hijacking the spotlight and pushing the entire franchise toward a breaking point. All eyes are now on what happens next, and one thing is clear: the Indiana Fever have some massive decisions ahead.